So, the big news in Formula 1 at the moment is, of course, the recent crash at Silverstone between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Now, this is going to go down in history, just like the contact between Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher at Adelaide in 1994, and the contact between Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost at Suzuka in both 1989 and 1990. And this kerfuffle between the two title challengers could prove even more impactful depending on how the season works out at the end. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how that all happens during the rest of the season. I can't lie, I'm very excited for it. But today, we're not going to be looking at the crash, okay? Enough YouTubers and mainstream media have rinsed that topic dry. And also, I don't really want any Max Verstappen fans or Lewis Hamilton fans just coming at me in the comments. Don't really need that in my day. So as I say, that's not what we're going to be talking about. By a stroke of luck, I was actually at Cop's Corner for the crash. It was absolutely mental, but many online have claimed that fans like myself were disrespectful in their reactions to the incident. But is that true, or are people kind of over-analysing the situation a little bit? Let's take a look.
These are critical corners for this Grand Prix. Hamilton's going to try and get this time on the inside, a continental! Verstappen is out of the race, and that's a big crash into Cops!
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Sir Meerkat, and welcome back to the Moto Meerkat channel. Ho-ho! It is good to be back. I'm very happy to be back making videos again. I'm sorry I've been away for so long, but if you're excited for this one, be sure to drop a like on it down below. Now, as I say, I was at Cops during the crash. I can't lie, my friend had decided to sit there much earlier in the day than when I got there, and I kind of ripped into him. I was like, mate, this is not an overtaking spot. This is going to be awful for the race. As soon as the crash happened, I leaned over and I was like, mate, I take it all back. I take it all back. But oh my God, was it intense. It was a massive accident. As we know, 51 Gs on Max, absolutely crazy. The car was practically disintegrated, at least at the rear end and on the side as well. And many members of the crowd were actually left with cuts and kind of bruises from the whirlwind of carbon fibre sent from the car during the accident. Max was lucky to walk away from the accident. As I say, it was quite a big one. He was hobbling when he got out of the car, but he was taken to hospital straight after the incident and given the all clear a few hours later. Only a few years ago, like 10, 20 years ago, he likely would not have been so lucky, so we do have to give credit to the FIA on the improved safety standards like the halo and the safety cell just getting better and better and better to keep these drivers safe, because at the end of the day, that's the main thing. In the moment, of course, I was wrapped up in the whole energy of the circuit. I didn't really notice anything wrong with the fans' reaction, and to be honest, as I say, I wasn't paying much attention. I was jumping all around the shop, I was going mental. I was like, wow, I can't believe I've just witnessed this right in front of my eyes. It was only once the race was over and I was scrolling through social media that I saw there was quite a bit of backlash against, well, me. Okay, not me specifically, but the entire crowd area that I was in. Now, here are just a couple of comments that I found while researching for this video. This guy said, English fans cheering when Max hit a wall at over 200 kilometers an hour with an angry swearing emoji. Another person said, respect for British fans, and a graph emoji showing the respect decreasing dramatically. But this interaction where one guy says the British crowd cheering Max crashing with sick face emojis and a money emoji, not sure if he meant the money emoji, but anyway, and then people responded, I still can't get over that, bunch of twats is what they are. And someone else said, I mean, what did you expect after the Euros? And then someone else said, in Zandvoort, we will cheer harder if Hamilton crashes. That kind of nullifies the point you're trying to make there, mate. And as I say, that final comment kind of shows the hypocrisy of the whole thing. I can't imagine that if it was the other way around at Zandvoort in only, what is it, a month, 2 months time, that fans would cheer just as much, if not louder, if they saw their title rival get knocked out of the race. Like we always see at different races, like in Austria, there's like a Max stand, everyone in orange. This one's actually going to be in the Netherlands. Literally everyone is going to be a Max fan. Obviously in England, we've got a little bit of a split. We've got Hamilton, we've got Lando, we've got George. They only have Max. It's just going to be a load of orange. But at the end of the day, this reaction was really due to just media hype. People didn't really go out and research things themselves. And of course, they weren't there themselves, or they would have seen what actually happened. Because, I'm going to say it, plain and simple, the British fans, as a whole, did not cheer Max's crash. Luckily, we now have video from all different trackside angles, including this one filmed by someone actually in my friendship group, a great video from Matt, this one. Now, of course, there are definitely Hamilton fanboys that got a little too overexcited when it all happened. There was a bloke right next to me in full Hamilton gear. I'm talking like t-shirt, cap, joggers, a flag, like everything. And he was just screaming his name the entire race. I mean, you got to give it to Hamilton. He did an incredible job on pace after it all happened, chasing down Leclerc and still getting the win. It was amazing. But to go back to the incident, in that clip, you did see, of course, people cheering, but you can't say for certain if they were happy that Max was out or simply happy that such a crazy moment had happened right in front of them, or if it was just a bit of both. And with the unbelievably high levels of safety standards, as I mentioned earlier in this video, that we have nowadays in Formula 1, everyone just kind of assumes, even with a crash that is that big, that the driver will be completely fine. Now, Max is obviously a little bit battered and bruised. As he said afterwards, he felt like he'd been in a few rounds with Tyson Fury. But overall, he's completely fine, and at least to my current knowledge, he will be racing in Hungary. Now, does this take away from those Hamilton fan reactions? No, but should the media be branding all British fans as disrespectful? Also, no. Now, I will say, we all could have waited until the incident happened for him to get out for us to have any sort of reaction, but when you think about it, that's just stupid. We all get wrapped up in the heat of the moment, and everyone just goes mental. You can't really control that. Now, luckily, as I said, with so much trackside footage that we've got now online with so many people filming, many have come to the realization by themselves that the British fans really didn't do too much wrong. Now, there are a few positive reactions that I'll stick up on screen now, but I'll just give one a full readout, which said, "I'm Dutch and a Max fan, and read a lot of negative comments about the British fans, but to me, it really seems most were shocked and then cheering and clapping only when they saw Max's head was moving, which showed he's alive and then got safely out of the car. Sure, there were a couple of people cheering at the crash, but rotten apples are always there no matter what sport or which country." Now, this lad has clearly got his head screwed on. He knows what's going on, and as you can see from the video clips, I'll leave some links down in the description of trackside footage where you can properly see long cuts of the crowd. You can hear what they're saying, what they're doing, when they're cheering, who they're cheering for. Like, when you get the full picture and you don't just go off some random media headlines, you can see that the British fans were genuinely nervous about how Max was doing, and once they realised he's okay, he's going to survive this, he hasn't got any injuries, then they were cheering. They were all up in arms like, "Way, go on, Max." And also, thank God, Hamilton's going to win this race. Well, if he can get over that 10-second penalty, which, well, now we know he did because he's some sort of racing god. But I decided I wanted to know the opinions of you lot out there, all of you Meerkats following the channel. Of course, I appreciate you all, love you all. So I went to my Instagram and my Twitter. I just hit my microphone. So I went to my Instagram and my Twitter to find this out, which of course you should go and follow if you aren't already. Links to both are down in the description below. Now, I did a poll on both platforms with some quite interesting results, if I'm honest. On Twitter, it was a pretty even split, with 52% of you saying that the fans' reaction was disrespectful, compared to 48% who said that they were not. Now, on Instagram, it was far more in favour of one side than the other, with 66% of you saying that the fans' reaction was disrespectful, and only 34% saying that it wasn't. Now, I'll stick some of my Instagram story replies and my Twitter replies on screen now for you to have a look at. Obviously, you can see there's a lot of differing views here from different people, probably from what they've seen in media outlets. Some of you adamantly denying that the fans did anything wrong, with others calling the fans disgusting, and even larger words than that, lots of swear words going on, and some of you accepting that there are idiots in all fan bases and that we should really take all this information with a bit of a pinch of salt. So, in conclusion, I personally would have to agree with that last point of view, as I was there to witness it myself. The majority of the crowd simply leapt about, whooping and screaming because this historic event, let's be honest, historic event had happened right in front of us, and everyone then cheered when Max emerged from his car unhurt. Now, as I said, of course there's gonna be some diehard fans within the mix who do silly things out of pure elation, like pumping their fists in the air. Like, it was within a second after the crash. They don't think about that. It was just, yes! They're not trying to be disrespectful. It's just the natural reaction of, oh my goodness. But to vilify an entire nation of fans just for this small minority to be doing slightly silly things, I think is a bit too much. But overall, I'm just glad that Max is okay, and hopefully we will see him out in Hungary. I haven't seen anything on the contrary, so it does seem likely, and if there are any more scuffles in Hungary, the championship battle could seriously boil over. As we know, after that crash, Verstappen has already unfollowed Hamilton on Instagram. A little bit of a dig there from Max, and I, for one, am definitely going to be sitting on the sofa with a bowl of popcorn watching it all happen. But there we are. I thought that this topic needed to be addressed, as I'd seen it all covered so heavily immediately after the Grand Prix, but then it all just kind of went silent. So I wanted people to know that there was another side of the story. But I would, of course, love to pass the topic on to you lot in my comments section. What do you think about the entire debacle between Max and Lewis and the fans' reaction? Be sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. If you did enjoy today's video, be sure to drop a like on it down below. I do really appreciate that, and it does help my video get out to more people. But if you want to share it with other people as well, be my guest mate. I would really appreciate that. If you just come across my channel, this is the first video watching, or maybe the 3rd or 5th or 20th, whatever you want, be sure to subscribe to the channel down below as well, because I'm trying to rank that up. Obviously, legend, join the Meerkats today, you geezer. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you Meerkats later. Goodbye, guys.